It's definitely a place in ours.
Yeah, we accept volunteers, interns throughout the year. So if you're interested, come on up here and I can put you in contact. You guys.
For us, we take mostly youth volunteers. Don't be offended. But I am working on actually building up our volunteer base because of funding cuts. We're cutting staff left and right, and I definitely think there's a place for you with us. Call me.
Shoot. I liked everything I heard. Is the fact that there just aren't enough jobs out there and that's why there's homelessness, is that being addressed?
Well, there's no affordable housing. There's no jobs.
Yeah, we have, there's about, I mean, just statistically about a quarter of homeless people are working and are not earning enough money to pay for housing. And then, yeah, a large chunk of them are unemployed. So we see living wage jobs as the cornerstone, you know, poverty and homeless abatement issue. Of course, right now with the recession, we're seeing these massive increases. But I don't think in terms of youth is kind of a different thing because a lot of times, especially for young people who are underage, they're put out by their families, etc. And there's, you know, other issues there. But in general, right now there's been these massive increases. So among family homelessness, for example, there's been a doubling on the wait list in San Francisco since last year at the same time. And in terms of the single adult shelters, about 2 out of 3 people are getting turned away seeking shelter. So it's pretty dramatic, and we feel we're kind of in isolation in the city, but we're actually not. We're seeing huge increases in need.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask a question. The moderator's going to ask. I'm Dennis Richards. I'm on Beaver Street.
Doing a great job.
Thank you. I work for a company downtown.
Great job.
I'm the pinch moderator. I work for a company downtown. We actually hired 3 folks out of the center through Ken Stram and David Bach's group. We went to the job fairs and we interviewed quite a few folks. How do we get the training that's needed to this population to transition into the working world?
I think that the job fairs at the center are great. I think that what is lacking there, though, is entry-level positions.
Entry-level.
And like JR said, what would really benefit is having mentors, like elder mentors to queer youth, business owners or business managers. Let's start a program where queer youth are working directly in the community. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that entry-level positions are. Not only that, but I mean, I don't know a whole lot of queer youth who want to work for Wells Fargo or Bank of America.
I don't know anyone.
Well, you know, I got to say, I don't know a lot of youth who actually want to work because, you know, a lot of these kids have been out on the streets since they're 14 and 15, and they're coming out of institutions and unhealthy families and all that kind of stuff, and they're having their first experiences of freedom, and the last thing they want to do is enter a workforce, but they're young.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you can also ask them what their interests are. I think, you know, with the youth, we see a lot of their dream is like to work at the drop-in. Like, that's the vision, and that's awesome because that's the way I designed the program, quite frankly. That's the way I want it to run. But, I mean, you have to make jobs that are appealing to them and that empower them. And that, like, they know that. You know, like, they know that. And they don't necessarily want to go into a job where they have no knowledge of that environment or how to work or how to present yourself at work. And if you don't have a shower or a mailing address or a resume, like, how are you going to get a job anyhow?
Interesting. Raphael?
Yeah. I'm wondering to what extent any of these programs are able to get kids into like city college or other kind of like training, because it seems like, particularly if you've been homeless and on the street since you're 14 or 15, first of all you need a GED probably, and then you need to be getting something. And does that happen, and how does it happen?
Yeah, I mean, we work with kids to help them get their GED, and then a lot of them are still living in the park and going to city college, but we'll buy them binders and supplies to go to school, and, you know, maybe we let them stay in the drop-in a little later so they can study, because you can't really study in the park at night, but...
JR?
Yeah, when I first got here, I was, like, not really interested, but, like, yeah, like she said, like, Larkin gave me a whole bunch of, like, binders and, like, school supplies, and then, like, after I got my GED, they gave me, like, a stipend and stuff, so, like, it was, like, more interesting.
Are you employed right now?
Kinda, yeah. I go to City College and I work at the Queer Resource Center there.
Okay, great.
We have an education department at Larkin Street, but we have GED help, we have job readiness classes, internet, wire up classes, assistance getting into colleges, City College, things like that. Institute for Higher Learning, IHL, which the IHL, if there's community members out there that are interested in having youth come work for them and do internship at entry-level positions, please come talk to me, because one of the things that so many youth want is to get back into the community when they want to work, but the community's not offering these internships for the youth to come back and give something back. So our IHL is completely open for youth wherever they want to go and learn. It's just a matter of the community coming in.
And IHL's in-house learning?
Yeah, it's the higher up department.
Okay.
Larkin Street.
Hi, my name's Christiana, and I have questions and comments. So, I used to be in the foster care system, and that's where I see a lot of youth who come out in the street, and they're out in the street and hold on, I just have to collect myself because it's emotional. Basically, I'm a homeless youth. And I've been 86 out of all these places because of lack of accommodations. And a lot of the places didn't kick me out because of behavioral issues, just because they couldn't keep me safe. And these people right here have called to at least try to stay with me for a good 8 hours, and all they hear is, "I'm sorry, we can't help this person," and lack of that is because I'm also a hermaphrodite, and a lot of people don't know what that is. And I've had to be stuck forcibly out in the street for weeks. And a lot of churches don't even give out blankets anymore because the Mayor Newsom or whoever has shortened the budget. And I just see so many youth out there, and they're terrified. You know, I deal with post-traumatic stress disorder, and because I was abused in the foster care system, and that's what's happening right now as we speak. We're a bunch of youth who can't experience because our life is faster than our future. And there's not many agencies. There's barely any youth agencies, you know. And I want to put the spotlight on you lot. You know, Larkin Street, to me, is institutionalized. It doesn't feel like a youth program. It feels like foster care. And that's a lot of flashbacks for a lot of youth who talk to me because I'm youth like they are. And I have been 86 there. And it's over a conflict of because I've tried to stick up for my rights as a hermaphrodite. Not because of behavior issues. And if there's behavior issues, why kick out someone? Where's the prevention? Why not? Because you know what? This brings youth out here who are, that's why we're being infected with more HIV, because we're desperate to prostitute for money. That's why we're more on drugs, because, you know, I've never done drugs. You know what? 3 nights ago, I had a drink. And that was my first drink ever in my life. Because I'm so overwhelmed that I'm scared for my life. And if Larkin Street's the only youth emergency shelter, then I ask these guys to step up the plate for this. Because, you know, there's a lot of us who just really don't want to be around that crack, don't want to be around alcohol. And there's a lot of us who just say, you know what, fuck it, let's just sleep out in the street. And they just give up everything. Everything. And they're so convinced that the streets become institutionalized for them, where they're stuck there. And some youth may have more options. I'm a youth who doesn't have options. I want there to be options, but there's no program that can accommodate me. And especially for the trans community. We're just forcibly pushed, abused. You call the police, they don't do anything, you know? They don't even, I've said 3 weeks ago that I was going to kill myself. You know what General said? A doctor told me, no, you're just homeless. and I wasn't even 86 or put on a 72-hour hold. I was told, sorry, this is not a homeless place. Maybe you should go to 150 Otis. I went to West
Where
Side
you would not
Press.
be accepted.
Yeah, you wouldn't be accepted there, so.
Yeah. And, you know, and then like I said, there's not even these shelters, 16 Otis and certain places are just sitting seats. I have mental illness, that puts a toll on my back. Depression hurts my neurologic spine, you know, and there are a lot of youth who are just so exhausted. Sitting in a chair like this that you see, that's torture.
Thank you for sharing that.
No problem. Like I said, a lot of people, including Beck, who's sat with me for hours being told that they can't help me, need to speak to this person, have gotten a